Welcome back, everyone, to episode 65 of the Do You Know Ball podcast. As always, I am Matt DeGennaro, joined here with my co-host Zachary Pappenberg. Zach, say what's up to the lovely people.
What's going on, everybody? Super
Today,
excited.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
super
yeah,
excited to have our special guest on today.
great
Um,
start, right? Yeah.
yeah, great start. Go ahead, take it away.
Today, episode 65, we have a special guest, Matt Brown. He's a professional hockey player. Matt, say what's up to the people.
What up, everybody? Guys, thanks for having me.
No
Hey,
problem. Yeah, Matt, we're gonna jump straight into the questions and get to know like a little bit about your life and everything. So just starting off everything, how did you discover hockey and what made you want to play it?
So my uncle was a big hockey guy. He got my dad into it. My dad started playing beer league right before I was born. My first birthday, he gave me a hockey stick, and I just wouldn't put it down. So like I was always playing with it. I was shooting balls growing up in my living room and whatnot. And then parents took me skating when I was 2 or 3, and I just kind of kept doing it, fell in love with it at a young age, and just went from there.
So when did you realize that this was gonna become like a profession of yours? Like when did you feel like you were gonna go pro?
I mean, like growing up, every kid that like plays a sport, they are like, "Oh, it's gonna be so cool. Like if I can make it to the pros, like everyone dreams of it." I've had that dream for a while. I think the moment it really hit me was my last year of juniors. I was playing out in Des Moines, and I was put on a couple of the NHL rankings for the draft board, and I had a really good year. Had a bunch of schools trying to get me to decommit from where I was committed to, so I knew there was a lot of interest, and I was like, all right, like this might be a real thing.
now we do have a lot of questions with the schools and all that, but I do want to ask, growing up, you've loved playing hockey and seeing your name on a draft board. Like, what's the feeling like of that? Like, that must be awesome, right?
Yeah, no, it was pretty crazy. I mean, I ended up not getting drafted, but even just to be like ranked among those guys was pretty special. I was always like I got cut a lot growing up from teams, so it really was one of those like full circle moments where I was like, man, like this is paying off all the work, all the extra hours, all that. I don't know. I've gotten a lot more out of hockey than a lot of people thought I would, so I'm just kind of taking it for a ride.
Mhm. And saying you got cut, how do you like bounce back from something like that and to now make it where you are, especially that's like great motivation, right?
Yeah, I'm a pretty competitive guy, so that was kind of just throwing fuel on the fire. I we have like around here and throughout the US there's district camps. I never made any of those, so that's kind of like an area all-star team you could call it. I got cut from those every time I tried out. I got cut from 2 or 3 different youth teams growing up. So that was just more and more like, you know what? Plenty of people to prove wrong. I'm just gonna keep doing me and not worry about it and see where it takes me.
I was gonna
So
say, because funny enough, the next question we actually have is it's regarding, the college offers or and right your high school days. So do you want to kind of sum up your high school days, what it was like, maybe teammates, and then I'll touch a little bit on college offers like directly after that.
Okay, yeah, sure. So with hockey, it's a little different as opposed to normal sports. Like high school really doesn't matter. Everyone plays travel unless you're in Minnesota or you're playing prep school up in Massachusetts or Connecticut. Like around here, it's fun to play high school hockey, but like that's not going to get you really anywhere. So a lot of kids play both travel and high school. I did my first 2 years at Don Bosco,
Hmm.
and I was playing travel with this club called the New Jersey Rockets at the time. Transferred to Tenafly for my last 2 years. Played there, and then my senior year, I actually played on the Rockets junior team, their U18 team, and I played high school. So that year, I ended up playing like 100 something games, which is ridiculous. A lot of hockey, but it was a lot of fun.
And
yeah, I
then
imagine that's pretty taxing on you, right? Like can you just talk to us about like the routine you had to go through? Like what was your mornings like? How did you get going during the day?
Yeah, I mean, I was always like, I got called a rink rat a lot. Like, I loved being on the ice. I pretty much lived at rinks growing up. So, like, High school, I wake up like Bosco wasn't pretty early wake up because I had to get dropped off there, and then my mom had to go run over to Tenafly to teach. It was a lot easier when we were both in the same district, but like I'd have like a 6 o'clock wake up. I'd do like a light workout for 20, 30 minutes in the morning before I even left, get ready for school, get out the door, go to class and whatnot, and then I'd be at practice by like 3, 4 o'clock, do that, work out with the team then, and then come home, do whatever homework and whatnot I had. I tried pretty much to keep an early bedtime growing up. Like I would probably try and be asleep by 10 or 11 with how early I had to wake up, but there were definitely some times where that didn't happen and might have dozed off in the occasional high school class here or there. Um, but it was, I don't know, I was pretty disciplined growing up. Not a lot of recovery stuff for me on the in those early stages. I did a lot more of that when I got a little older and the youth kind of ran out. I'd still consider myself young, but body doesn't feel like it did 8 years ago when it was doing all it was. So, but no, it was a lot of fun just constantly being on the go.
Mhm. And I do want. How old are you? Why don't you tell us the people?
26.
26. You're young. Zach,
Yeah,
what's the
yeah.
what's the cutoff age for what's considered old? What do we think?
Probably past 30. Probably past a little past 30. Around there.
I
That's
don't
what I
know.
would say.
It's weird for hockey because it'll be like there's I played against guys that were 26 in college with the COVID year
Oh
and
yeah.
guys redshirting and whatnot. So, and there's I think the that final wave is getting pushed out. I think last year was the last year that could really happen. But when teams like professionally look at prospects, it's like once you cross 24, 23, you're not really young anymore.
Hmm.
But you're not old either until you hit like 28. So I'm kind of in like that little gray area.
Yeah. Yeah. I've such like a baseball mind. Like usually like obviously like baseball players 30 is, you're getting up there, but you still have like a good amount of your prime left. 26, I feel like you got a lot left in the tank. I know I definitely think you do, but um
I
yeah,
I
I could
think I think
okay.
sports kind of skew our minds on what we consider old
Oh
because
yeah.
for sure because like once a player is like let's say like 34, 35, like I would still consider that young, but like if you're an athlete like you're kind of in like that older threshold, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I
So
mean, just like it's also the sport too. Like baseball players, your arm's got to be shot by
yeah.
35, 6. I threw my arm out when I was a catcher at like 13. That was it. That was it for me. Like,
Yeah, I had a crazy injury when I was like really younger. I broke my wrist. Don't need to get into that really, but I it affected me for like my entire career. Like whenever I
that's
played in high school and everything like that, after I'd throw for like maybe like an hour or so, I'd start to feel like tremendous amount of pain in my wrist and it just wouldn't go away. So there's a big difference, with everything. But just getting back on a little bit more on topic. So you originally attended the University of Massachusetts, right? Lowell, and
yeah.
then you transferred to Boston University.
Mhm.
What was the transfer process like, and why did you do it? Why did you want to go to
Um,
Boston?
I was pretty grateful for my 2 years at Lowell. I just didn't really feel like it was the right fit at the time, play style wise. And to be honest, if the transfer portal didn't become a thing, I probably would have stayed one more year. I was debating leaving after my freshman year, but the portal was rumored to be uh doing its thing like the next year. So I was like, all right, like I'll wait one more year. I really didn't want to sit out a year because I used to have to just sit there for a year
Hmm.
to play. And like that's such a step back in your career. Like not playing games for a year is just crazy. And then thankfully the portal popped up that next year. I think I probably was one of the first guys to jump in it, honestly. But I had no idea what I was going to get going into it. Had a bunch of schools reach out. Had a really good friend of mine that was at BU. Called with him. They gave me like the virtual tour or whatever, talked with the coaches. it was like a 2, 3 week process, narrowed it down to a couple schools, and then I just thought like they had the best roster out of all the teams I had talked to. Thought they were in like a really good position to win or do something within the next year or two, and I was gonna slot right into a good spot there, so that was for me a no-brainer.
Mhm. And before you attended Lowell, did you have any like other college offers? And if so, was there a school in mind that you really wanted to attend to?
I mean, growing up, I was a big like BU, BC fan. I loved watching Johnny Gaudreau when he was at
Hmm.
BC. Eichel when he was at BU. I I had at the time when I committed to Lowell, I was between there and Northeastern, which were both two Hockey East schools. And then occasionally like I'd hear rumblings from I didn't have like you weren't allowed agents, but everyone has like a family advisor.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "Oh, like this school reached out, like you have any interest to pop in or decommitting?" And I was like, I didn't sign my letter of intent yet. And I was considering a little bit, but I didn't really have a year where I was like, okay, like I'm gonna be good enough to step into this school and like absolutely kill it. And Lowell at the time when I committed was fourth in the country.
Hmm.
And then I signed my NIL and had some really good schools reach out to me when I was my last year at juniors. But I was like, you know what, I made the commitment. I'm gonna stick with it and go. And like I had a really good freshman year there. I was really grateful for it. It just ended up not being the right spot after a year or two.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, and so speaking of your college career, what was the biggest difference really from high school to college? Like, what was life like as a college athlete?
I mean, I think the most obvious thing, just being away from home, living on your own. I was thankfully prepared for that with juniors. I learned to cook living away. Like I lived with host families for a couple years that were great. I took an interest in cooking because I figured I was going to have to do it in college anyway, and you never know what you're going to get with the dining hall.
Mhm. That's
Um,
yeah.
yeah, so I picked that up. I was pretty prepared for it. It was nice though. Like living with teammates was so much fun. Being around the guys constantly. Juniors, it was like that. College, it was like that. High school, I never really lived in the town where I went to the school or that close by.
Hmm.
Bosco was like 15 minutes, and even then, everyone's coming from different towns, so everybody's scattered. Tenafly, everyone was in Tenafly, which for me is like 20-minute drive. So I mean, it's not bad. I have a late birthday, so I didn't get my license until my senior year. So like I wasn't really able to have the freedom to drive up and see friends really anyway.
Hmm.
So that was another nice part of college, and I think like socially big difference, and then hockey wise, everybody's so much older, everybody's so much stronger, thinking the game a different way. It's just a
Okay.
big adjustment.
Yeah.
I want to ask because you mentioned cooking
Yeah.
pre-game meals. You make any? You have one?
Yeah. It's different, like being on the road, you don't really have that much control over it. But if I'm home, I was a big chicken and pasta guy until a few years ago. Then I changed it to chicken and rice, and now I'm going salmon and rice.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's been I switched. I made the salmon switch this year and I loved it.
Do,
Chicken and rice you can never go wrong with. Like
No,
simply put it. And salmon's fantastic as well, right, Zach?
yeah.
yeah, it really is. I'm a big fan of salmon. But also, do you have any like cheat meals? Like, is there something that you would go to, um, if you want to get off track?
Oh man, there's plenty. I love ice cream, so if you put that in front of me, I'm gonna probably put back a whole tub. Um, Chicken. I think like though, like go to cheat meal. I don't even know if people would consider this a cheat meal, but like chicken parm, chicken vodka parm, either way.
That's
Like,
fantastic.
yeah, like you can't. It's so hard to mess up a chicken parm,
Yeah,
and
and when they do, if they do, it's the most it sucks. The most disappointing
oh,
thing
it's
ever.
terrible. It's terrible. But I feel like that's just the easiest way to gauge an Italian restaurant, though.
Yeah.
The
Hmm.
chicken parm, like it's good. Like you know you're in a good establishment. If it's bad, like they should be shut down.
What about like a basic bowl of like spaghetti and meatballs? I feel like that's another Like, how do you mess up spaghetti and meatballs? You know what I mean?
It's so hard to.
Yeah, it's
And
It's
if
pretty
they
so
do,
pretty hard.
obviously, not a good sign.
no, not you're out of there.
Yeah, out the door, like no
Yeah,
hesitation.
no, none.
Yeah. So now just a little off track there again, but it's okay. Um, so just going back to your college career, right? You're at this school that you just transferred to. Um, how did you and your teammates really click? How did you become like a family?
I would say so my junior year when I transferred in, it's a different experience being a junior versus being a freshman. When you come in freshman wise to a new school, all the freshmen are new. Like that's your grade. You all bond really quickly over that. We had a pretty tight knit group at Lowell. It was a little clicky grade wise. Like team parties and whatnot, everybody's together, everyone's doing it. But like guys going out to dinner, it was always like you're going out with your grade or
Hmm.
whatever you're doing. When I was at BU, it was like a giant mix. Like everyone was hanging out with everyone. Whoever was free, like you just put in the like we just like spent so much time together. We had guys that lived right like the senior apartments were right next to the rink. The freshman dorms were on the other side of the rink. The juniors were about like half a mile down the road. The sophomores were just as close. So like everyone's in such a close proximity to each other. Guys are all grabbing food after practices in between classes and whatnot. I just feel like all those little things away from the rink just made everyone so much closer.
I kind of get that feeling as well, where one of our closest friends, he did baseball, D3 baseball. As you can tell, me and Zach are big kind of
Yeah,
baseball
yeah.
people, but he had this same sort of experience as well. As you said, very clicky, and that instantly made me think of him. His name is Jonathan Stevens. He's on our pod every now and then. So everything you said is almost like exact as to how Jonathan says it. So it's very interesting to see you guys have very similar experiences with it as well.
Yeah, and I mean, but it's easy for that to happen, especially if like your grades are lined up with that, or not grades, classes are lined up with everybody else in your grade. So that just kind of forms like that. But
Yeah.
the EU, the older guys did a really good job of trying to include everyone.
Hmm.
And even like the weekends, like you're there to be an athlete. Obviously, you're in college, you're gonna have your fun, but just making sure like everyone's there. You show face even if you're only there for a couple minutes. Like it's just good to see you there. You don't have to drink, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do, obviously, but like just being there, even if it's for 20, 30 minutes, like it's just it goes such a long way.
Hmm. All right. And one thing now that we do kind of want to move into as well is maybe a little bit more about your personal life. If you want to tell us a little bit about your family, any siblings you might have, your parents, and we do have obviously additional questions that I'm sure where we might. So
Yeah,
why
yeah.
don't you go ahead and tell us about that?
Yeah, so dad Rick and my mom Debbie. I've got a younger brother Andrew who probably would have been better than me at hockey if he actually cared about it. I wasn't a natural, he was a natural. And
Really?
he got the height too. He's like 6 foot. I'm not 6 foot.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and whatever that difference is in hockey, they see the six in the height and it just puts you all the way up here. Um, but
I feel like
he
that's a lot of sports too, though, right?
yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Which like the good thing with hockey is it's starting to go away from that. It's becoming more of a skill game.
Hmm.
But even so, like guys are just like draft wise, prospect wise, oh, this guy's 6'5", but he can't skate or stick handle. But we can teach him. He'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
they love taking the risk on big guys. But brother played up until he went to college. He'll occasionally dust the gear off for the Thanksgiving Tenafly game. Um, but no, just grew up in Woodridge my whole life with them, and it's been fun.
Talking about your parents, right? Obviously we know a little bit about what happened, but we kind of want to hear it from your perspective. So initially, when your mom passed away, how did you feel about all that? And also how did your teammates find out about that, and how did they decide to come down and surprise you pretty much that they were coming? to support you in a time of need?
Yeah, we had a game against UMass Amherst. I believe it was a Tuesday game, which are pretty rare in college, but I think it was right at the end of our Christmas break. My dad called, said she wasn't doing well. I was at the team dinner the night before when I found out. So I was in Amherst. I was like, "Do you need me to like get out of here?" He was like, "No, like it should be fine for a few days." So I played that game. Um, got back, got a rental car, grabbed my brother, drove back. We spent some time at home. She passed probably after a couple days of me being here. My buddy texted me, the one that honestly recruited me there, and was just like, "Hey, team's gonna take a bus down. I just wanted to give you a heads up." And I was like, "Oh, like shit, I didn't really expect that at all." Um, but like those guys came to the came to the service. It was really like high class thing of them to do. They honestly didn't really have to do that, but it really meant the world to us that they were all coming. I know my dad, when I told him, he broke down, like he really couldn't believe it either. Um, but it's just like having their support and having them like take that effort just was, I can never speak highly enough of all the people that went into making that happen. I'll thank them every time for it. It was just meant a lot.
Yeah, so just going straight back into the Beanpot tournament, and then how, like, where was your head at? I'm really curious. It's got to be hard to play a game a couple days after your mom passes away. Like,
Yeah, it was, but like my dad loves watching me play, and my brother the same way, and like they're hurting just as bad as I am. Like they, if I can do something that's gonna take that away for a couple hours, like I'm gonna go do that. If I could take my mind off it or try to for a couple hours, I'm gonna go do that. And at the same time, like the bean pot, you don't really something like it's very hard to play in. And when it's an experience that like I'll never forget. I don't think I've ever been in a building that's been that energetic. Looking back on it, I'm really happy that I pushed through it and played. I think it was honestly good for me though, just to get my mind off it, get back to school, be surrounded by those guys that I was really close with. Um, I know my brother stayed back here a little bit longer than I did, so I wasn't really too worried about my dad being alone, but his parents flew out and we've got family not too far from here that were constantly around, so I knew that he had a pretty good support system as well, and I knew he wanted me to go back up. But like he'd rather have me play than sit there and watch the games and with him and miss it. So I just kind of did it more so for them than anything.
yeah, so now you're in the game, right? And you're playing in front of your parents or your dad and your brother and your family, and you score a goal in front of them, and then you point to the sky. Just walk us through that. Walk us through that whole experience.
Yeah, I honestly remember shooting the puck, seeing it go in, hearing people start yelling, and I like woke up on the bench. Like I had to like go back and watch like that part. I just like blacked out. It was just like so much emotion and like two guys that came up to me right after I scored it were my best buddy that recruited me there and a guy that I've been working out with for a couple of years in the summers, like my two closest friends on the team. So it was just like moment could have really have been written any more perfect.
Hmm.
But I just like I got back to the bench, had to take a couple breaths, like woke myself back up, and I was like, all right, like I got to settle down a little bit. There's still a lot of game left, but it was just such a special moment.
Yeah, I was gonna actually ask as well because I was very curious, like the intensity and like how you were really feeling, and especially your teammates as well into that game as well, considering they all drove down and came to the funeral as well. So that's honestly, and like you said, you can't write it any better. It's
Uh,
just it's so beautiful the way
I
that it
had
all went
I had a
down.
couple like the coaches came up to me, said something on the bench, like some of my like we had this Swedish kid Wilmer Skoog who I was pretty close with. he was sitting next to me on the bench and he like rolled his sleeve up. He's like, goosebumps. And I was laughing. But it was no, all those guys were so good about it. It was just crazy. And like it being the Bean Pot too just made it so much more like intense. There's
Yeah,
just
like
so
yeah.
much there's so much energy in that stadium. Like when we I'll never forget this, the end of that game, we there's maybe like 2, 3 minutes left. So the Northeastern BC game was after us and all their fans started filtering in. And you just see up top in TD Garden, it's a sea of red, a sea of maroon, and a sea of black, all chanting at each other to F each other, just back and forth over the last. You couldn't hear anything else besides that the last 3 minutes of the game. I've never seen like a stadium that packed or like that energetic before.
Mhm. Yeah, hockey atmospheres, like they are incredible. Like I could honestly argue out of like every professional sports game I have been to, like I've been to plenty of Devils games in my life, and just every goal, no matter like how good the Devils have been that year, it's just so electric. Like hearing the horn every goal, it is like, and just you saying that as well just really brings me back to my last Devils game. It's just so much fun.
Did you catch any of the playoffs games this past year?
Uh, no, I was like one of our closest friends. His name is Robbie. He's a huge Devils fan. He has season tickets, so anytime he does have the opportunity to go to a game, usually I tag along. So I'm kind of like the outsider looking in, and he kind
Gotcha,
of fills me in. You know what I mean?
gotcha.
Hmm.
But those like you get to a playoff game, that's where you'll really be like obviously I haven't played an NHL playoff game, but I've been to them, and that Bean Pot might be as electric, if not more.
Really?
Yeah, it's just it the whole top bowl is just a college. So you have like college students fill the entire thing. It's all student tickets, and then the bottom bowl is the students that couldn't get tickets up there that bought them or wanted to sit lower, and then just all people from Boston, and we know how Boston
You,
people
we
are.
we know
Yeah,
exactly
Yeah,
how
we
so
Boston
definitely
it's
fans
do.
just
are.
it's just so juiced.
Hmm. And I've been to a World Series game, and dare I say, the noise is on par with one another.
I
Like truthfully,
I could see that. Well, it's also like hockey rinks are all enclosed.
that's
Baseball is
also
out in the
true.
open. I remember some of the loudest games I ever played in growing up were like in juniors, just the smaller rinks were so much louder, even if they
Hmm.
didn't have as many people, just
Hmm.
because you're so condensed. Like hockey's got a roof on it, MLB open stadium. Granted, you have about 30 to 50,000 more people depending on the arena, but it makes a noise difference for sure.
Yeah, that's actually a great point. I didn't even think about that, but still, just the atmosphere, and especially being able to play in the game, and given what happened. I just know, like you said, can't write it any better.
And then I mean, if you have like a walkout like Duran had his first relief for the Phillies, like
Mhm.
it's hard to beat something like that,
Oh my gosh, you are so right.
dude. I was watching that guy pitch the other day. That guy's insane.
So
So,
you're a Phillies
yeah,
fan?
I was just about to say that.
I mean, being in like the Philadelphia area the last 2 years, I became a fan of them. I
Hmm.
remember watching when I was in Flyers camp my first year, we would go to the rink, get absolutely bagged, and then go be sore in our hotel rooms for a few hours, and we would just watch the Phillies all through September and like into Red October.
Oh.
I grew up a
Oh wow,
Yankees
yeah.
fan, so
Hmm.
like I was a Yankees fan, but like the Phillies were so fun to watch the last few years, so like I kind of started rooting for them too.
Yeah. I know
Yeah.
Zach loves
Yeah,
the
if
Phillies.
if you can't already tell from behind me, huge Mets fan, and also the pillows back there as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Um, yeah, huge Mets
I'm
fan.
on
So,
the good side. I'm a Yankee fan. I'm on the
There we
good
go.
side, so.
There we go.
I just want to go straight in now to the championship game. So now you guys are taking on Northeastern, right, for the
Mhm.
for the title. Again, you already kind of touched on this with the atmosphere. I'm assuming it was probably even crazier for the championship game. Um, but how did it feel at the end when you finally got to raise the trophy and you guys came together all as one, each got your turns with the trophy? What did that feel like?
Yeah, it was like with everything else going on too, for me personally, it was like special. I remember I lifted it, like parents were, or my dad, my brother, and a couple other people I had there were like right on the glass, right where I was lifting it. So like to have that moment with them was really special. We were also like the way our year started that year, I got hurt early on. So I missed about 15 games in the beginning of the year. Our team lost, I think it was like 10 in a row. Like it was one of the worst starts BU's ever had. And that win was like our 13th win in a row. So that was kind of like the exclamation point on digging ourselves out of the hole and like turning the team around. Um, so it was just like for the team, it meant a lot. Beanpot, Northeastern had won, I think the last two or three. It had been a while since BU won one. So like it was nice to kind of get the monkey off of the back there for the school too. But it was like even going out with it, like just drinking out of the trophy, like the Beanpot's such a hard thing to win. It was pretty awesome.
Mhm. No,
Now,
that is fantastic. That is actually
And
incredible.
I have the picture of the arena when we were on the ice. I wish I could share it on the screen here, but you just see like this photographer did a great job. Our whole team lined up across the blue line, and you just see the sea of red in the top bowl.
wow.
Just all the students. It was that I don't think there was a single empty seat that night, which is crazy. I haven't seen TD Garden sold out like that.
Dude,
That's insane.
student like they will never disappoint.
No, I mean like
Never disappoint.
we get a good student section and like it'd be even better. Like BC week we would have like our game would be sold out. You'd see a lot of students there. Like Northeastern, you get a good group, but like it looked like half the school was in there.
Mhm. Yeah, coming from a Rutgers student, like I can tell you, like no matter what the sport is, like we always show out, and
Yeah.
it's just so much fun being like to be a part of the student section and whatever crazy rituals they have going on.
I don't think people understand in college, like the people that don't go to sporting events, you don't even have to watch a sport. It's just fun to be there.
Exactly.
The free excuse to drink, let loose a little bit, have fun with your friends. You want to watch the sport and figure it out, go ahead. But
Hmm.
like these people, oh, I don't go to sporting events. It's like, why? You don't like being social?
Yeah.
You don't have fun? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, I went to a wrestling match. I've never gone to a wrestling match before, but the crowd makes it fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's probably a fun one to watch too. You're just watching guys fight.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you would think. Yeah.
I mean, we went to like my freshman year, we went to field hockey, we went to basketball, both men's and women's. I think we went to a rowing event one time. Like soccer was another one. The soccer ones were fun.
Hmm.
But like that was a small, like Lowell was a small school, so like they wanted all the athletes to be with each other, and we did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on the soccer aspect because I've covered quite a few soccer games, both men's and women's, and the atmosphere and especially the
Oh
parents. The
yeah.
parents get real rowdy. Like they
So into it.
so into it, and if there's a bad call, they will let the ref know. They will
Oh yeah.
they will do anything in their power to let the ref know that they made a bad call.
Oh yeah.
Um, but yeah, so now you played a little bit for internationally, right? Like for USA.
Yeah.
How did that go? What was that honor like?
So that was the World Junior A Challenge, my last year of juniors. It was a tournament between the US, Canada, Russia, and oh, who was the last country? Czech and
Hmm.
Czech. It was up in Bonnyville, Alberta. And the big World Junior tournament is the one that like everyone sees every year right around Christmas time. Ours was like a week or two in front of it, and ours was for like guys that were in juniors. A lot of the guys that play in that are guys in college. So for us, it was like all junior players from us, all junior players from Canada. Same with Russia had I think had one or two guys that had played a little pro, but most of their team was junior guys, and same with Czech. But it was awesome. I remember we had a pre-tournament game against Canada and putting the jersey on, just the whole experience. It's like I think up until that point, I'd never gotten up for a game and been that like energetic about anything ever. I think that game was also why I got named assistant captain right after that game, and I think me screaming on the bench the entire time might have been part of that. I was just so juiced up and wired. But like that tournament was really fun. There are a lot of good guys. A lot of the guys from my team ended up going on to play in the NHL too, which was pretty cool. So got some good buddies out of that. Some guys I still talk to, that are making their way through the league, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and speaking now that you did bring up NHL, why don't we kind of jump into more of the more professional setting? So you played for the Flyers affiliate, which was the Lehigh Valley Phantoms,
Yep,
and now I believe you're also signed to the Bakersfield Condors, which is now the Oilers affiliate, correct?
correct.
Yeah. So first off, once again, congratulations. That is just, super stoked for you to, as you were like saying, getting cut and now working your way to where you are. It's huge honor, huge like mad respect to you. But how different is it now playing at a professional level as opposed to, college? What's the biggest difference?
I think for me, from college to pro, like at BU, we had a team that could skate really well, a lot of skill, played at a high pace. So going to pro, the pace wasn't necessarily that far off. You have a lot of guys that are stronger, think the game faster, and just like everyone's in the right positions. It's kind of weird to say this, but I played like the two preseason NHL games I played were probably the two easiest games I've ever played.
Really?
Because everybody's in the right spot. It's easier to read. It's easier to think. Um, and it's just easier to make plays. Like you know where guys are going to be. You don't necessarily have to take a look. Sometimes you can just throw it to a spot the guy's going to be there.
Hmm.
Um, those games were really cool, really fun. Um, and then with like the AHL, it's pretty much the same thing. It's like a little bit lower of a tier. Um, but guys are mostly in the right spot, usually in position. There's obviously breakdowns. There's a reason guys are down there instead of up there. Um, and then East Coast wise, it honestly depends on the team. Like I think my BU team probably would have had a good run in that league. I don't know if they would have won it, but I think we would have went pretty far. So it's like guys are older, guys are stronger, but like sometimes like as the leagues get down, like the skill drops off.
Hmm.
It's just like it's a completely different atmosphere, especially when you're playing 60, 70, 80 games a year too. I think a lot of the just volume of games too and the travel and whatnot, that definitely plays a big part into the college versus pro experience.
And I also wanted to ask one more thing regarding that as well. Like I've heard stories from other athletes saying you guys are trying to like get up to the next level as well, right? And so a lot of times they don't get along with their teammates because they're trying to almost view them as their enemies because they want to outperform them to make it to that next level instead of them, obviously. So
Yeah.
is there any of that feeling kind of like, or are you super close with your teammates?
I mean, I saw it a good amount in the AHL
Hmm.
where it's like you're right below the NHL, you're trying to be that next call up. Guys, I don't think it's necessarily that bad where like you're not hanging out with your team or anything like that. It's definitely I think pro is definitely more clicky than it was in college or than
Hmm.
college. But I like you definitely do. I have seen that. And I've heard it from other guys too who have been in worse situations team wise. From what I was told, like that was Lehigh was my first pro team, and talking to a lot of guys, like it sounds like I was on a team that was pretty close for pro. But I remember I had a good buddy of mine, Brandon Crawley. He was a Rangers draft pick, played in their organization for a while. And he was a defenseman, and he said to me one time, he goes, "It's weird because I want to make this play. I know it's the best play to make, but this guy isn't going to give me the puck back, so I don't want to make it. And at the same time, I'm competing with a spot for this guy, so I hope that this guy like falls over or does something that's bad. But then that also messes with me because now I got to defend and he fell over." He was like, it's just such a weird dynamic because you're constantly competing against each other. And there's very few. The AHL is, I don't know how it works in baseball and AAA and whatnot, but like the AHL is viewed as a development league. So there's like a couple teams that build their teams to win, but most teams are for the younger guys to try and get games and develop and whatnot. So a lot of teams don't even care about winning,
Hmm.
which it's like it's kind of weird. Like teams, obviously, you guys want to win, but like sometimes they're not either coached to win or they're not allowed to coach to win, and it's a whole weird dynamic of a league.
Also, I know that it's obviously not as easy or not easy at all to get to the NHL to get to where you want to go. Has there been any hardships that you've experienced? Like, can you to talk about that?
Yeah, I had like coming out of college after my last year, I thought I was in a position to where I was going to get an NHL contract, and I ended up not getting one. And I didn't really understand the significance of that until I got to pro. When I got to Lehigh, we started the season off with 19 forwards, and 17 of them were on NHL deals. 16. So it's like those guys are going to get priority. Those guys are going to get 10 chances to mess up before you get your one chance to go prove if you can stick or not. Um, so I honestly think looking back on it, I probably would have considered going back for a fifth year with my COVID year and trying to get a deal after that next year. But it's just like it's pros is just it's not even about sometimes being the best player. It's about being in the right position or the right opportunity at the right time. I would talk with my trainer and some guys at the gym and whatnot where I train, and it'll be like the top 15% of guys in the AHL are better than the bottom 15% of guys in the NHL. But those guys got with a coach that they knew or that they had played for who liked them and they got signed there for that. Or those guys were in an organization where if someone got hurt, they got a call up and they stuck, but there's 10 guys better than them in different organizations, but those organizations are all healthy or they're super deep and they don't necessarily get that chance. So the professional world's just a lot about opportunity. Obviously, it's what you do with it,
Hmm.
and sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. So when you get it, you have to make the most of it. But that's been something that was really eye-opening for me when in terms of that all that.
Have you had any like close? Have you been like really close to making it to the NHL? Like, have you gotten like a call up and like maybe something happens that it doesn't work out that way or something like
Um,
that?
I think that the closest run I had was coming out of college. Um, I had a really good showing at Flyers camp my first year. I think I was the second to last wave of cuts. So I think out of the 14 forwards they took to start the year, I was probably like 17, 16, 18, somewhere around there. So like that was like the first time I remember the exit meeting I had there. Like we weren't even going to give you any preseason games, but you came in, you smoked the skating test, you looked really good in the scrimmages. Our coach decided to give you one. You had a really good one. We gave you a second one, and we kept you around a lot longer than we planned on. And
Hmm.
that was probably the closest I got to it. When I got sent down to Lehigh, like I said, we had 17 NHL contracts. I got 2 games, and then I got sent down. Didn't really get like a lot of ice time or whatnot. Played in the coast for a while, had a really good year. Got called up in my first game, called up. I got blown up from behind, got a concussion, was out for a while. Got a couple. I think I played a few games with it. They thought it was a neck injury, kind of little misdiagnosis
Yeah.
there. Played a couple games with it. Didn't really play a whole lot the rest of the year, and then same kind of thing happened last year.
Hmm. And you kind of touched on it a little bit, but going into camp, like what do you have to do? And not just you, but I guess in general, just hockey players out there, like what do you have to do in order to make yourself stand out? Like the little things, right?
I think so. We had John Tortorella as our coach the year I went, and he's a very old school guy. Sticks to his methods, has his conditioning test that every NHL player never wants to do. And I walked in there and I was like, I'm consider skating one of my strong suits, and I said, you know what, like if I smash this, hopefully this guy's gonna like notice. First rep, I remember I was going and I was chasing after one of the guys who was on the team the past 3 years, and I just heard Torts yelling, lap him, lap him, lap him. And I was like dead even with him right at the end of the first one. And this guy's shooting me a dirty look, like, don't do that. And Torts is sitting there loving it. like said my name the rest of the skate, talked to me a little bit after, and I don't know, like you have to remember, like you're not there to really make anyone happy. You're there to take someone's
Yeah.
job. That's the
Hmm.
mentality you got to have. So like, that guy wasn't happy, but sorry, man. Like I got to do what I got to do. And I think honestly, that right there kind of earned me the one preseason game. And I went there, competed as much as I could, which that was a whole nother story. We played the Devils, and we had been like we got killed for 4 days straight. Like we went skate test, 2 days in a workout, 2 day in a workout, 2 day in a workout, game on the fifth day. I line up. I know a couple of Devil guys from skating here in the summer, and I line up with one of them, and I'm like, "How's your camping going?" I'm out of breath. He goes, "Oh, we just did systems, like nothing hard." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's good." We were down 5-0 after the first period. Half our team couldn't move. Everyone's dead tired. Like they just want to see how you push through it and how you compete.
Hmm.
That's like you just put your head down, don't stop moving, don't stop trying. They're gonna take notice in that.
Hmm. And it's funny because you touched on it a little bit again. I was gonna ask, what are like the practices like drills, workouts, all that fun jazz, right? So like, why don't you give us a little bit of some insight on those?
It's different depending on your organization, and it's different depending on what time of the year it is. I know it also depends on how old you are and like your
Hmm.
status on the team. When we got to like the dog days of the year, all the older guys were like not working out, not practicing as much. Younger guys were kind of required to be out there or at least do something. And you got more days off as the season went. But like early on, you're probably working out 2 to 3 times a week. Granted, your schedule allows you to do that. Practicing 4 times a week. And that probably sticks until you hit November, December. And when you get into like the dog days of the year where you're doing like 3-and-3s, or you're playing 2 games, traveling, coming back, you have a midday week game, you're starting to get like an extra day or two off during the week, and workouts kind of decrease a little bit, practices get a little easier. But beginning like super intense camp, you're getting bagged. First month, you're getting bagged, and you just got to kind of get through it.
Now, knowing all that you know, right, about how the process is like from high school to college to now the pros, what advice would you give like young players if they were asking for it from you?
I'd say worry about what you can control and don't let anything else affect you. There's going to be times where you're going to get cut from a team, not because you're the not better than the guy that makes it, but guy that makes it knows somebody, or the guy that makes it has been there a while and whatnot. Like the sport is very political, especially at like a youth age, and
Hmm.
it gets and honestly kind of stays that way throughout college, or not so much college, but pro as well. So like there's gonna be a lot of things out of your control, but if you just focus on yourself, you keep putting the work in. It's a term I've heard throughout my hockey career. Hockey's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And like those guys that were so fixated growing up on, oh, I have to be on the best team, I have to do this, I have to do that, phased out once they hit 16, 17, because yeah, you're on the best team, but you're playing 10 minutes a game at the age of 12 when you should try and play as much as you can. And I think I see that happen a lot with guys where they're so fixated on stuff that they can't control and things that like don't really have anything to do with their game and whatnot. And they lose the sense of how am I actually going to get better? How am I actually going to get to that next level? Like they don't think about the necessary steps. They think about the short term, not the long term.
So now we really didn't want to make this all like too serious.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So we wanted to just get into some fun questions
we got some fun questions.
Let's
that
do
I
it.
think you would enjoy. Deej, you could kick this off.
All right, so first question for you. This one's gonna be like this one's gonna be. I'm sure you might have been asked this before, but and I had to change the question. So if you could bring back any retired NHL legend to be your teammate, who would it be and why?
Oh man.
It was really just any NHL player, but you mentioned some of your friends, some people you've played with, so I had to change it because I felt like that would have been a little bit of a gimme.
Oh man. I mean, I would love like there's always that debate and you see it with like the Jordan and LeBron.
Hmm.
Like how would those like older era players do in today's era? And I think
Exactly.
it's kind of unfair to compare just because like everyone grows up so different. The training has gotten so much better and whatnot. I'd want to say like the easy answer is Gretzky. Like you
Hmm.
want to see how Gretzky would do, like greatest player to ever play. The way he thinks the game is unbelievable. Mario Lemieux is another good one. I loved watching Patrick Elias growing up, being a
Hmm.
Devils fan.
Yeah.
Um, I think I'd have to go Gretzky. I would love to just play in a line with that guy, get the puck moving and see. Or I don't remember what his name was, the captain of the 1980 Soviet team. That would be another interesting. I don't think he'd understand what I'd say though, so probably Gretzky. Probably Gretzky. We're gonna
You
go
never go
Gretzky.
wrong with Gretzky. Yeah,
No,
that's a
we'll
good
go wrong
answer.
with Gretzky.
Yeah.
All right. So what was your most embarrassing moment in ice on the ice?
Oh.
Sorry for making you
Yeah, sorry
tell
for
the
making you
public.
relive any tough
Um.
memories.
Oh man. I had one. Okay, no, I gotta go with this one. So I took I took like a cross check to the face my second year at juniors. I had a hole in my mouth. I had to go get stitches in between periods. And the guy that was putting the numbing stuff in kind of missed a little bit and shot some of the numbing like juice onto my tongue. So like I go out, I'm talking fine, like I'm stitched up. I go out, I'm on the bench, I'm sitting there. And coach is like, all right, like Brownie's line's going. And I stood up to call out who I had. And I was like, I got 47. And everyone just kind of looked at me and I was like, what? And I tried to talk again. It was the same. I just couldn't talk. My teammates are over here dying laughing at me on the bench. I'm trying to call stuff out. And I couldn't use my mouth. Like my tongue was numb. Like I couldn't form words. It was pretty funny. I think like everyone like you could say like a toe pick or something on the ice, falling over. Getting I've seen guys get on the ice with their skate guards. I did that once or twice. Like, but I think just like the fact that I was there like on the bench with all of my teammates and I didn't even know that was gonna happen and it just kind of came out and I like couldn't speak. I think that was pretty embarrassing.
That's that I'm so sorry if you didn't want to share that
No,
with
no, it's all good. My trainer thought I was having a stroke. He ran over.
Wow. Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God it was not, you
No, yeah,
know.
thank God.
You
But
really can't make that up, honestly.
yeah.
You really can't.
No, you can't.
That's kind of hard to do though. Missing your the
Yeah,
area that's
how are
supposed
you
to be covered.
licensed? Yeah, right?
I don't know. I literally I had to get 6 stitches. I felt the first or I didn't feel the first two. I felt the last four.
Oh,
Yeah, it
wow.
wasn't. It was like
This might be a weird one, but like, did you ever even like go back to that doctor, tell him what
Yeah,
you
did
did?
you give him a piece of your mind?
Yeah, like
no, man. Like I mean I knew he missed like I was like, all right, he missed like a spot. Like it's not a big deal. I'm just gonna soak the stitches and I'll be fine. And then like end of the game that happened. The guy's out the door after the game ends. I don't think I really saw him again. But I was just like, I looked at my trainer. I was like, man, how's that even happen? He goes, I have no idea.
Next fun question we got for you. Do you have any weird pre-game rituals or superstitions?
Yeah. I mean, I do like the same stretch routine and whatnot. And at the end of it, I take a foam roller and a lacrosse ball and I play tennis against the wall.
Mhm.
That's probably the weirdest thing I can think of off the
Okay.
top of my head that I do. I listen to the same playlist, but I don't really think that's too weird.
Hmm.
no. I
It's pretty
listen to the
normal.
same songs almost
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
I'm a rock guy. I'm really like 70s, 80s, 90s. That's my realm. Um, yeah, no, that's definitely not weird at all. So just wrapping it up, final fun question for you here. Since you mentioned ice cream as your cheat meal, um, we were curious if you could blind rank these ice creams that I'm gonna
Oh,
say.
yep. Let's do it.
Okay.
Oh,
So
you look like you've been ready for this question. This is
Yeah, no, I mean the blind ranking's such a big trend nowadays.
it
Mhm.
is. It
Yeah,
definitely is.
I haven't done one of these. This will be fun.
All right.
Okay. So here's the ice creams you got to choose
Eh,
from.
How
No, no,
many,
no, 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 Zach. That's not how it
Oh,
works.
okay.
how many items are there?
All right. So there's gonna be five. Or you're gonna have
Five flavors. So I'm
five.
going one through five.
Yes, but
Okay.
you're not gonna know what's
Yeah,
next.
yeah. Got it. All
You
right.
know
Okay.
the rules. You can't change once you put it in somewhere.
Sounds
Got
good.
it?
Yep.
All right, Zach, you're locked. I
No, go
love
go
this.
ahead. Go ahead,
I
Deej.
love this.
I feel like
All
this
right.
was your question too.
So I was so excited to do this because I've never done one of these. All right. I'm gonna write this down as you say it. Number one. Let's start with vanilla. Where are you putting vanilla?
Four. I'm gonna go
Four. Okay.
four. I'm gonna go four. I feel like you guys are gonna give me some crazy flavors, but I think four's got it. It's vanilla's a staple. You can't go wrong with it. It's a little bland, but you can't go wrong with it.
What I already have all the choices written down, so Zach can attest. I'm not going to change it. What is your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Cookies and cream.
Cookies and cream. Okay. Okay.
Mm.
Interesting. All right. Number two, or this next one, the next one, cookie dough.
It's a good one. I'm gonna go two. I'm gonna
Two.
go two.
That's
Let me.
Deej's all-time favorite.
Cookie dough. You
It's a great
cannot go
flavor.
wrong.
It's a
Yeah.
great flavor.
Cannot go wrong with cookie dough. All
Um,
right. Number three, or the third one, mint chocolate chip.
See, like I don't think that this is a bad flavor. It's not my cup of tea. I'm gonna I'm gonna be safe. I'm gonna put it at three. I'm gonna go
Okay.
three.
Okay.
There's gotta be something worse than that.
Is there a flavor that you just absolutely hate?
Um, I don't think I've ever had bad ice cream. No.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I
Th-
don't think I can't think of one. Can't think of one where I had it and I was like, this is terrible.
Okay. Number four, your fourth one, cotton candy ice cream. Now you got one in five left. So,
I just I gotta think logically, whatever's coming next is gonna be better than cotton candy. So I'm gonna put cotton candy five.
okay.
I'm gonna
Are
put
you,
cotton candy five. With honestly, I'm okay with. I think I think I prefer vanilla, personally.
you're not a cotton candy connoisseur?
No, not the biggest fan.
Okay. So before I give you number five, I'm gonna put you at the edge of your seat for a little bit. What do you think? What is left that we haven't asked yet?
Oh, there's so many flavors left. I'm just like you haven't
I
gone
fear I
you
fear we
haven't
went a little
gone
basic.
you haven't gone chocolate, you haven't gone strawberry, you haven't gone cookies and cream, you haven't gone like a chocolate chip. Uh there's like oh, this could go either way. I'm gonna be mad if it's strawberry, if I'm being honest with you. If I put strawberry at one, I'm gonna be a little upset. But
Well, we got some news for you. No,
okay.
I'm just playing. I'm just
Okay, okay,
playing.
okay. All right.
I'm just playing. Your last one, you don't have a choice. This is your number one. Your last one, we put chocolate. So that would be your number one.
I'm okay. I'm okay with that list. I'm okay with that list. I think maybe the only change, if I could make a change, would be the flipping cookie dough and chocolate.
Okay.
I think that that would be what I would consider, but you can't. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that.
Okay. So your final ranking, chocolate, cookie dough, mint chocolate chip, vanilla, cotton candy. Of
Yeah,
course, it was blind. Yeah.
I'm good with that. Honestly, I'm good with that.
Final question, unless Zach wants to add anything. Who is your Mount Rushmore of current NHL players?
Oh man, that's a good question. Um,
It doesn't have to be any specific order. You
so
can
are we
just say
talking
what
like
for.
right now or guys that are in the league and just taking their careers as a whole?
I when I wrote the question, I was thinking right now.
Right now, okay.
Yeah,
So right now, McDavid,
of course.
McCarr,
Hmm.
um, oh my God.
Tuffy.
No, this is tough because it's like this might be a hot take. There's an argument for Slavin to be in there after the year he had this year and his
Okay.
performance in the Four Nations. He might be the best shutdown D man in the league. But you also have like You have Kucherov, Crosby. If we're talking like two
Like,
years ago, Crosby is still on there.
mhm,
Ovechkin just dropped, I think, 40 something goals, and he's 38,
mhm.
which
Hmm.
so we got David, we got McCarr. Um,
I love the thought. I love the dedication you're putting into this.
I almost even want to put Bennett. He had like 14 goals in the playoffs too. This is tough. Can I look at it? Can I look at it something real quick?
Yeah,
Sure,
go
go
ahead.
for it.
Is that
Go for it.
allowed?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's allowed. It's
At the
allowed.
end of the day, it's your list, your
Because
Fantastic
I
Four.
feel like I'm missing a couple players that I just cannot think of.
Throwing
Um,
Jack Hughes in there anywhere?
I can't throw Jack Hughes in there. I played against him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when I was my last year at juniors was the year he was on that USA team with Caulfield, Zegras, and all them. So we played them. Oh, you got Matthews, you got Pasternak. I'm gonna put this is gonna be a hot take. I'm gonna put Quinn Hughes on there
Really?
because I remember I saw this statistic last year. It was the plus minus when he was on the ice, or like the shots for and
Okay.
against he was on the ice versus when it wasn't, and it was like plus 600 to like minus 400. Like if a player has that big of an impact on a team, and I mean, I don't think they weren't good last year, right? Unless I'm missing something.
Uh,
Vancouver wasn't good.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think they were. Oh, I don't even know how I missed this. I'm gonna go ready. We're gonna go McDavid, McCarr. I'm gonna put I'm gonna take Quinn Hughes off. He got kicked off. I'm gonna go
All right.
uh
Yeah.
he's gone. He's dead. Gone. We're gonna go Nathan
Yeah.
McKinnon, and I'm gonna go with a goalie because I feel like I need one there. I'm gonna go Sorokin. Or no,
Okay.
Shesterkin. Sorry, Shesterkin. Wrong Russian.
Yeah. All
I'm
right.
gonna go with that.
So if we, obviously we have a TikTok, we do clips, right? If
Mhm.
we put your Mount Rushmore, what do you think the general audience, how do you think they would react to your Mount Rushmore? You think positive? You think,
I mean, there's gonna definitely be people calling out like Austin Matthews not being on there, which
Mhm.
like I get it. I get it. But your four slots, like I don't think he's one and two for forwards. If you're gonna put a third forward on there, sure, like he's the next guy up.
Mhm.
Um, Pasta definitely has an argument. Kucherov definitely has an argument, but I just think like McKinnon and McDavid are just so dynamic. You can't really top anyone over that. Makar is the
Mhm.
best D-man in the league overall. Um, I think if I had put Quinn Hughes on there, that definitely would have gotten some backlash. And I don't know if people are gonna like Shesterkin being on there.
Well, I like that you touched like every base though. I think that's a
Yeah,
very fair way to do
I
it.
think you need to
Yeah.
put a goalie on there, especially one that's like been that good. But there's also five other goalies that have been pretty close to what he's doing too. So it's hard. I mean, there's everyone's got their bias. Everyone's got
Mhm.
their
Yeah.
arguments.
Yeah.
Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. All right, with that being said, that about wraps up episode 65 of the Do You Know Ball podcast. We will catch you guys next time for episode 66.